Okay. For anyone watching, just another moment. It's all right. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for joining us here today as we come together to celebrate the life of Dianne Elizabeth Ouellet. In addition to all of you in this room, we have people far and wide joining us on live stream today. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Laura Simmons. I'm her daughter-in-law. We appreciate everyone coming together today commemorating this amazing woman. Although we're here to mourn our loss, let us also remember and honor the wonderful person that she was and the impact she had on our lives. Please find comfort in the love and support of those around you as we gather to share our memories and say farewell to a beloved wife, mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, and friend. For those of you who are not here in person today to see this lovely program, I just wanted to kind of go over our schedule of events so you know what to expect today. Our ceremony will begin with a collection of personal tributes, followed by some prayers from a prayer book that she kept at her bedside. And then additional family speeches will then be followed by the opportunity for anyone to get up and say a few words. And then we'll conclude the service with a slideshow of photos from Dianne's beautiful life. For our first memorial, David, would you like to get up and speak?
Hello. Well, first, thank you all for coming here. Thank you for being here. Thank you, hi Marcia, for all those people that aren't here. I wrote some words, but I think I'm just gonna wing it. What a beautiful, wonderful mom, as Laura said, grandmother, friend, partner. My mom was very creative. She, from pottery to making clothes to designing things, every facet of her life seemed to have some creativity built into it. And that creativity was a gift that she shared with everybody. Yeah, she shared all of her gifts with all of us. And that's what made it really special. Yes. And her giving was part of her creativity. All the charities she did, all the giving and all the love she gave to us, all the time she spent with us, all the wordle games with Jack, all the reading with Opal and Delilah, all the golf games and RVing with John, all the just family was so important to her. It was her driving force. And she put all of her love into that. And that's why we're here and very proud to be here. Such a beautiful, wonderful woman. I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, one note of her creativity, she sent me a text. It was a glass of water on the table, and in it, it had a toilet roll paper, and it had some toothpicks in it. She was trying to grow toilet paper. That was my mom. Her efforts, her energy, her love will never leave us, because she gave so much to all of us. So I will say, you are the best mom, and I love you very much. And I love everybody here, and I love the community and the ecosystem and everything that she created, because it was all about positivity, it was all about love, and it was all about sharing, caring, and giving. And I need to let go now, and I think it's okay. And she'd be very proud of all you being here, and she'd be very happy. So for now, that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you very much.
Somebody will need these, maybe me. Thank you for making it here. Many of you on short notice. And it means a lot to me and to everybody else. Thank you, Charlotte and David and Kelly and Laura for making this. So this shirt, I got to stick to the script. When I was young, John and my mom and I would go to Mammoth, and we would fish, we would play golf, and pizza, and wonderful times. And many of us had the white Mammoth shirt with the skier logo, and I wore mine into the ground. And we went back later, and I got a replacement, and it had a snowboarder on it. And I commented to my mom that it didn't remind me of the good times we had, and I had a chocolate ice cream stain on it, and I couldn't get it out, and I was just going to retire it. And I'm sure you all know where this is going. Come Christmas time, there was a white Mammoth Mountain original with the skier in it as a Christmas gift. And that was just who she was. There was an opportunity for giving, and she made it. She took advantage of it. She gave. Each of you have had a different relationship with my mom, Dianne, and I was just hoping we could connect on some of the great things that she was and she did. And please share your stories when you get the chance. Once upon a time, my mom was a foster child to a Tama and Sima Eisen, and they had escaped the Russian Empire in 1913, so they knew a bit about hard times, and they would end up being influences that would provide stability and worldliness and progressive and activism and creativity, and then, as you all know, she just took it from there. She was patient. She had this timeline that I still can't even understand. She made fundraisers, and they took months to get together. She was in public relations, building relationships with the community, and she did that for 30 years, and that was her jam. She was great at that. Her crafts and needlework were labors of love. She returned boxes to me in my 40s of stuff that I had when I was a teenager, and they would come a box at a time every time they came, and she just would not presume that there wasn't something valuable in there, or something in there that I wanted. And she said, I'm not going to throw it away. It's for you too. This is your stuff. And she modeled respect, and it was wonderful. She was hardworking. She was raising a son or two. She went to college, and at one point had 5 part-time jobs. Just loving and caring, somehow making a surprise birthday party for 100+ people for John for his 50th birthday, just using a pencil and paper and a phone. I couldn't do that. She just dedicated herself to the task at hand. She organized. She had a garage that was tidy, labeled, accessible. I don't know of anybody in this world who has had a more usable usable garage. She had to-do lists. The to-do lists were just nonstop, and she said she would structure her errand runs and her grocery shopping such that she didn't waste any time. And if there was a thing that she wanted to keep an eye on, it was on the list. And if you were lucky enough to be asked, what do you want for Christmas? If it was on that list, you were probably getting it. And she made the most of what was given. She was intelligent. She skipped grades in school. She seemed to know the news before I did. I don't think I ever won a Scrabble game with her. And she would ask what's going on in other people's lives. And then she'd follow up later. And she was genuinely curious. And curious for connecting, curious for humanity. Not just successful, she was downright human. And the kind of human that cares about all other humans in an admirable way. Particularly those who maybe didn't have an environment that was as good as the rest of us. She worked for the Dianne Foundation and volunteered and later worked for Children's Hospital and the YMCA. And even in her retirement, she found ways to give back. And she listened. She was a just phenomenal listener. I was sharing her with her. Excuse me. I was sharing with her how Laura and I had gone to Vegas to see Mamma Mia. I mean, it was exciting. It was a big deal. And she was listening with that smile and those eyes, those beautiful blue eyes that would just take you in. And I stopped and asked her if she had seen Mamma Mia. And she responded, yeah, I saw Mamma Mia. When did you see Mamma Mia? I said, I saw it at Piccadilly Centre and West End in London. And I was like, oh, your story's much cooler than mine. And I don't think she would have ever told me, at that moment at least, that she had done that, because she just wanted to give me the space to have my story. And even in her irritation, she was full of respect and dignity. When someone would do something unethical or rude or selfish, it was a simple, who does that? And she was sincere, even when she was, affronted. What was this person's stories? Why would they do something like that? What was their story such that they were willing to do something that crossed the line? She was just giving even the benefit of the doubt. She was just giving. Let me finish with one more vignette that I just feel like was her. She was doing her cross stitch for a gift. It was one by the door, and her shoulder wouldn't go up anymore, and it hurt. And so she talked to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Oh, you have a catch in your shoulder, and that you need to stop what you're doing and do some PT, and physical therapy, and it'll go away." But she wasn't having any of that, and she said, "Well, I have a project I need to finish for the holidays. Can I just keep finishing it?" And he said, "Well, you're not going to hurt yourself, but it's going to hurt, and it's going to be difficult." She said, "Okay." And then she went home, and she modified her cross stitch, and she got it done, and she framed it, and she sent it off, and then she went to the holidays like she always does with this smile on her face. And then when she got home, then she did her physical therapy, and that's how she rolled. I could go on and on about all the wonderful things she did. She did them without drawing attention to herself, too. Simply a fountain of making things better with dignity and respect for all. Please, when you talk to your friends and family, please share these stories of this wonderful person. Thank you, Dianne. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for all that you shared with us. Thank you for the time that we got to spend with you, to share with you, to grow with you. I love you. Be at peace. Yeah? Okay. If you're willing, so that everybody can hear you online too.
He really wanted some of his works to be in the circles. So we worked on this. It's short, but it's sweet. And between the two of us, it was as much as we could get out. So these are his words. When I first met Dianne, We were both working for the YMCA. I realized fairly quickly that I met the love of my life. She was beautiful, funny, kind, and caring. When we decided to get married, we knew blending families wasn't going to be easy. The Ouellet kids lived up to the not being easy part. This is when I realized how strong and determined she was. She never gave up, even when there was plenty of reason to. At that time, I realized that I had a partner for anything and everything life had in store for us. We built a wonderful life together. We sailed, golfed, traveled, RV'd together, and of course cheered on the Dodgers together. She was a wonderful mother to her sons and stepmother to my kids. Her greatest joy in life was her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. I will miss her every day.
So for our next portion of the service, we have some readings from God's message for each day that she kept by her bedside. And so first up is Delilah. If you want to go to this, or you want the...
Be agreeable, be sympathetic, be loving, be compassionate, be humble. That goes for all of you, no exceptions. 1 Peter 3:8. The biblical way to deal with suffering is to transform what is individual into something corporate. Most cultures show a spontaneous comprehension of this. The suffering person is joined by friends who join their tears and prayers in a communal lament. They do not hush up the sound of weeping, but augment it. If others weep with me, there must be more to the suffering than my own petty weakness or selfish sense of loss. The community votes with its tears that there is suffering that is worth weeping over.
Thank you. Now, Charlotte.
Beliefs shape behavior. One of the great lies of the age is that what I believe is nobody's business but my own. That what I do in the secrecy of my own heart is of no account to anyone else. But what I believe is everybody's business precisely because of what goes on in my heart very soon shapes the way I act in society. Our beliefs are not off-the-cuff answers we give to an opinion survey. Our beliefs are the deepest thing about us. Our beliefs shape our behavior, therefore our beliefs are the most practical things about me.
Thank you, Charlotte. So I chose one that resonated with me as I looked through this book because it showed how Dianne lived her life. She was one of the most accepting people I have ever met. If she did have negative judgments, she didn't share them. And this allowed me and everyone I know to be our authentic selves and feel loved just as we are. So this one is titled, Begin with Acceptance. We will not compare ourselves with each other as if one of us were better and another worse. We have far more interesting things to do with our lives. From Galatians 5:26, the message. So our partial acceptances of one another are in fact rejections. Acceptance is a carrot held out to motivate us to conform, not a gift to set us free. If you will dress this way, or talk this way, or behave this way, you will be accepted as one of us. But however earnestly or politely these conditions are set forth, they are rejections. The gospel reverses that process. It begins with acceptance, then with the rush of freedom into the soul that brings the spiritual, moral, responsible life develops. Traveling light. So, for the next portion of our service, we will continue with personal reflections, and I will share mine. Hopefully, can get through it without too many tears. Though, as Delilah said, that's okay. We share in each other's tears as part of the process. So Maya Angelou said, "I have learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will," it's not getting very far, "will never forget how you made them feel." And Dianne made me feel accepted, appreciated, and loved. I've known Dianne for more than half my life. Our relationship developed fairly slowly over the years. It started with me as a somewhat shy 20-something, not quite sure how to connect, steadily growing to our recent years of frequent texts, calls, and quality time spent together, chatting over coffee and shared meals. The first Christmas that Darren and I visited her and John in Ashland, Oregon, I was 21 years old and learned that Santa would be visiting our home. I don't recall ever believing in Santa before this, but at 350 Guthrie Street, Santa was real and completely magical. We've spent nearly 20 Christmases together, and she brought her magic to all of them, most especially this last one here in Folsom. Her love language was gift giving, and she always started planning every year early. Every year after Opal was born, she asked very early in the year to reserve Christmas with our family so that we could have our traditional prime rib dinner and Christmas morning present opening together.